what's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're gonna be doing something a bit different, and I'm calling it Let's Talk F1. So Let's Talk F1 is basically gonna be talking about the general news in Formula One. So what's going around in the Formula One paddock, and just general Formula One news. So we're gonna start off with driver transfers, driver market. So basically, I guess the most juicy and spicy lineup swap you've ever seen in Formula One history, possibly. I'm not sure about the past, but since I've watched Formula One, I think it was like I watched Formula One since 2014. Yeah, 2014 was when I really got into F1. So I'm quite a new F1 fan, to be honest, but still. Nonetheless, the driver swap for 2019 is just completely turned on its head. The only team to not change their driver lineup is Mercedes. The rest of the teams are either yet to be confirmed, the drivers, or just completely gone with a new lineup. So we're just going to go one by one, team by team, just to see what's popping. So I'm just gonna give my opinions on what to expect from the lineup, and let's just get into it, shall we? So in Mercedes, you have the usual stuff: Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. So Mercedes has opted to stay with their current driver lineup. So obviously, because why would you? Lewis Hamilton, four-time world champion, possibly five-time world champion. I don't know. By the end of this year, we're gonna have to find out. So then they're keeping Valtteri Bottas. Obvious choice, I think, from Mercedes. They're going for the safe option, and Bottas is pretty I don't want to say he's a wingman, but he's a pretty good driver in general. He does the job, kind of like Kimi Raikkonen, which we'll get into very shortly. But yeah, Valtteri Bottas, he does the job. Lewis Hamilton, four-time world champion, and we'll see by the end of this year. So swiftly, since we're talking about Kimi Räikkönen, we swiftly go into Ferrari. So Ferrari, now this is the interesting bit. Ferrari next year have decided to keep Sebastian Vettel, but they've also decided to promote young driver Charles Leclerc. So you guys know Charles, he's a very, very good prospect for Formula One, and he's basically took the step from F2 to F1, and during that step, he's basically done a very good job, to be honest. And even though he's seemed vulnerable in some points, but he's not. He's generally a very good driver, and he's not only that, he's very down to earth. Some of you might say, and yeah, I agree with you. So Charles Leclerc, definitely one of the most interesting drivers out there that will be definitely wanting to see fighting for a world championship with the likes of Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly as well. So yeah, all these new drivers, Carlos Sainz as well, and possibly Daniel Ricciardo. So yeah, Charles Leclerc getting promoted to Ferrari is a golden opportunity for him. So even though he might be a bit like he might be treated like Kimi in a way, but not as much as because Charles was definitely a young driver. It will be interesting to see how he compares with Sebastian Vettel as well, because Vettel, because Kimi, if he's teammates with Vettel hasn't been giving his all, it feels. So yeah, Vettel definitely is not getting the push that he needs to try and win the world championship. So he's making quite a bit of mistakes, I must say. So hopefully Charles will be the guy to push him into his limit and trying to help Ferrari in a way to win championships this way. So that's what also to point out, Ferrari don't normally do this. They don't normally promote their young drivers. This is one of the first, uh, times they actually promote their young drivers into the actual Ferrari seat, because you see how long they stuck with Kimi for so many years. So yeah, but swiftly moving on, we're gonna go into Red Bull now. Red Bull have decided to maintain their driver lineup in the form of Max Verstappen, but you all heard the departure of Daniel Ricciardo leaving Red Bull to go to Renault, so we'll get to that very shortly. But because of this, Red Bull have taken the opportunity in a way to promote Pierre Gasly to get into drive alongside Max Verstappen, and wow, this is also another big step for a young driver. Same like Charles, same situation like Charles, and Pierre Gasly is also getting the same equal opportunity to do the same thing as Charles, basically. So he's going against one of the more experienced drivers, Max Verstappen. Yeah, definitely one of the more experienced drivers, one of the better drivers as well. So I must say, on the grid. So yeah, so it's gonna be a challenge, but Pierre, hopefully they can push each other, Max and Pierre, so that they can push each other, and hopefully the team can do something about that, because if the drivers are pushing each other, then the teams also have equal opportunity wanting to do well, because they have such a strong driver lineup. They're gonna want to help both of their drivers to do well in a way. So yeah. Next up, you have Renault. So Renault, we mentioned Daniel Ricciardo. That's I think Daniel Ricciardo is the one that triggered this whole mashup of driver swaps. And Daniel Ricciardo jumping his top 3 seat, basically going to Renault. So Renault are, I want to say, the 4th best team now on the grid. But Renault, the difference between Red Bull and Renault is that Red Bull is a customer team. Renault is a works team. So Renault have, technically, there are more resources compared to Red Bull. So Red Bull, you can say that they have the slight edge over Renault at the moment. But thinking about the long term, Ricciardo's definitely thinking about long term. He's looking forward to 2021 possibly, and then, because Renault is a works team, they have all the resources they need to be it for cash, expertise, whatever. And yeah, so they technically have more stuff than Red Bull, more magic powder or whatever you call it. And so they technically have more, just that they have to get their R&D sorted out. And yeah, they'll be golden. So Ricardo's going to think about long term, and then I think his plan is to see where they are in 2020, and then I think they signed with a 2-year deal. So yeah, Ricardo is looking until 2020, and then he's going to decide where he's going to go, stay in Renault or go somewhere else in 2021. So yeah, next up, partnering alongside Daniel Ricciardo will be Nico Hülkenberg. So Hülkenberg, as per usual, he's a solid driver as well. So I have no qualms with him staying in Renault. So swiftly moving on. Haas haven't confirmed their driver lineup yet. So we're gonna continue on to McLaren. So McLaren, this is also a very interesting lineup, I must say. So McLaren have basically, because of Daniel Ricciardo stepping in for Renault, that leaves Carlos Sainz out of the picture in Renault. So McLaren have taken this opportunity to basically take in Carlos Sainz. So Carlos Sainz is driving for McLaren in 2019. So we've seen this before. It's not going to be new. Carlos Sainz stepping in for the leaving Fernando Alonso. So Fernando Alonso, unfortunately, he's had his time in Formula One. I'm willing to say he's done, but for now he is done. For now, he might come back in future, but so far I think he's pretty much given up at this point, given up at what the state F1 is now. So Carlos Sainz, well, definitely he basically, I'm not sure. There have been rumors saying that Alonso's trying to help his fellow countrymen out, whatever. But I'm not sure, to be honest, because they're both Spaniards, so there could be a link between that. But to be honest, at least we get to see Carlos in the racing seat, because there are not some drivers that are not this fortunate, and we're gonna get to that very shortly, I should say. And then partnering. Can I get my words out? Come on, English. Partnering alongside Carlos Sainz is Lando Norris next year. So Lando Norris will be driving for McLaren. So, which I'm completely ecstatic about, because I watch F2 some races. So I don't really pay attention to F2 much. But Lando Norris, what he does, along with George Russell and all, they really give me a good feeling for the future of drivers at Formula One. So Lando Norris, to see him get a seat in F1 is already crazy. So you're gonna have, so far you have 3 young drivers in Formula One, and well, you this lineup is quite similar to the previous lineup that you saw in 2008 with McLaren as well. So you have a young Spaniard, young Brit, both going hammer and tong. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. So this is going to be interesting, but will McLaren be able to get their problems right? Will McLaren sort their issues? Because so far, because we're in the topic of McLaren, both seats are taken, and the reason for this is because the reason for Lando to step in straight away into F1 is because Stoffel Vandoorne. Because Stoffel Vandoorne has been underperforming so much, he is not showing what McLaren wants. So, unfortunately, he's have to step out of his seat and give it to someone else. So, you have no words, because Vandoorne has been labeled such a top-class driver in F2 back in his F2 days. I think he's won the championship in Super Formula as well. I think for Japan, in the Japan kind of Formula racing thing. And yeah, I really don't know what's happened to Vandoorne. To be fair, McLaren did kind of say that their car was made to suit the driving style of Fernando Alonso. So that could be one of the factors, because every driver has a different driving style, and yeah, somehow Vandoorne's car is also not getting the best of upgrades. Like, the McLaren have kind of compared the chassis between Alonso's car and Vandoorne's car. Both the chassis difference is actually quite significant in terms of performance. So yeah, unfortunately, McLaren are treating Vandoorne the way he should, to show his true potential. And unfortunately, that's how F1 works. If you can't perform, you get dropped. Like we see many of the time. Even if you're performing, you get a chance of getting dropped, because IG Pascal Wehrlein. So yeah, unfortunate. This is how things work in F1 sometimes. Hopefully, I'm very hopeful for Stoffel that he at least gets a drive next season, because if he can find a drive somewhere else, he could possibly build the team around him, and hopefully he still has the talent in him. So I hope he can find his foot in the team and just go with it. Just go with it. So enough of McLaren. We're just going to swiftly move on. Force India are yet to confirm their driver lineup, but we've been hearing around the F1 news, and yeah, they say it's going to be Sergio Perez, and well, obviously it's going to be, I think it's going to be 90% Lance Stroll in that Force India seat next season. So yeah, Lance Stroll, I mean, his dad bought the team, so they have every right to put him in the Force India seats. And Sergio Perez, well, obviously, he has the cash, he has the money, he brings the money for the team. So the team needs every single point they need, every single penny they need. And yeah, so that leaves out Esteban Ocon. So Esteban Ocon is now a technically free agent for 2019. So same like for Stoffel, both of them don't have a driving seat for 2019. So where can Ocon go? There's only a few seats left in the Formula One paddock. So the seats that are yet to be confirmed are Haas, Toro Rosso, one seat at Sauber, and Williams. So could we see any of these drivers going to any of these teams? Well, the answer to Ocon's situation is I think he's only got a shot at Williams because Ocon, being technically tied with Mercedes driver, I don't think teams like Haas or Toro Rosso or Sauber would want to take him because, well, obvious reasons. They are tied with the opposing opponent. So yeah, Ocon's only shot is Williams, but even Williams have other drivers prospects like saying like so not Sergey, who's that, Robert Kubica, possibly jumping in back to the F1 seat. We don't know, but I'm very hopeful for Esteban Ocon as well because Ocon he's proven himself in the Belgian Grand Prix. You see him qualify for P3, and well, yeah, fair play, that can be due to luck, but you don't get that much luck. It's some talent as well. So Ocon, if he steps into Williams, that at least secures his seat in Formula One, his place at Formula One. And the performance he showed throughout the Belgium Grand Prix is just phenomenal. So hopefully he can find a seat. I'm very hopeful for him, especially. And then you have the likes of Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso are yet to confirm their driver lineup as well. So, well, before Lando Norris jumping to McLaren, Toro Rosso have been rumored to announce Lando Norris into the seat, but apparently not. So at the moment, because Pierre Gasly goes to Red Bull, who will replace the other Toro Rosso seat. So at the moment, it's going to be Brendan Hartley. It's not confirmed, but most likely it's going to be Brendan Hartley because Red Bull, the young drivers program of Red Bull, are running out of young drivers eligible to step into Formula One. So they're going to have to find somebody with as much super license points to put them in the seat. So where can who can step in? There are rumors saying that they're going to bring in Danny Kvyat back. So, and Danny Kvyat, he's a solid driver, I must say. He was not able to show his potential when he was in F1. So, and he just got dropped. So, yeah, another example of drivers dropping out of seats is Danny Kvyat. He just makes a mistake, a small mistake, and yeah, he just gets dropped. So next up, you have Sauber. Sauber is, well, we mentioned this earlier before, back at Ferrari. Basically, Leclerc has made a swap deal with Kimi Raikkonen. So Kimi Raikkonen is now technically swapped with Leclerc and going back to Sauber. So I find this move very interesting because Raikkonen is, I didn't know this before, but Raikkonen started his career technically as Sauber. So he's basically going back to his old roots and trying to do some, well, not do something, but going back to his old roots. And he's got a lot of friends there, I think. And yeah, basically he's going. So yeah, he's going back to Sauber for a 2-year deal. So 2 years he'll be in Sauber, and then he'll see where he wants to be in for his future, basically. So 2 years, I think I rumored, it's supposedly a $40 million deal. And yeah, to drive in the Sauber, $40 million isn't too bad, to be honest. And even Sauber, because they have now sponsorship funding from Alfa Romeo, so Alfa Romeo now, Sauber is ever more so evolving their car. And every weekend they go, the car just gets better and better and better. So Sauber, don't count Sauber out for 2019. They could be the top team, especially with that regulation change. Everything can be turned on its head. And yeah, you can possibly see Williams challenging for the championship or whatever. So because of the regulation changes, the teams will be in blank. Pretty much like the F1 games now. F1 games now have technical regulation change, and everything. You're gonna do everything to preserve your research and development, and yeah, the teams will be doing the exact same thing. So you're gonna be researching for next year's car and whatever, and whoever does the most research, and can get the most out of their research, is gonna be the fastest car. So. Next up, you have Williams, and Williams are yet to confirm their driver lineup. We mentioned this quite early as well. So, it's probably going to be Sergei Sorokin because he brings in money for the team. And Sergei, to be fair to him, he's doing pretty well at the moment. So, and I like the guy. He's pretty down to earth. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the driver lineup of 2019. So. Well, about the engines, the manufacturer engines, Mercedes engine, just a small update in a way. The teams that are going to be powered by Mercedes engines next year are Mercedes, Force India, and Williams. So, pretty straightforward. These three teams have always been powered by Mercedes engines since I want to say the V6 turbo hybrid era. So, yeah. Ferrari, you have Ferrari, Haas, and Sauber. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. Same like this season. Renault, you have Renault and McLaren. So, this is where the things change a bit. Honda engines will be run by Red Bull and Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso is not a difference in this year, but Red Bull is the big factor because Red Bull have, Toro Rosso is technically a Red Bull B team, and Red Bull have saw the not the gains, but how the Honda engine works in the Toro Rosso. So Red Bull are switching to Honda power for next season. So that will be interesting to see because recently the Renault engine has been, I don't want to say it, but it's been exploding on itself. So Renault are definitely gotta fix their cars, fix their engines in a way for the customers. But you say that, but you look at McLaren. McLaren don't really have much breakdowns compared to Red Bull, and they're running the same engine this season. So it could be a Red Bull thing, it could be a Renault thing. We don't know for now, but we're gonna see 2019 who made the right call, who made the wrong calls, and we'll see. So swiftly moving on, we're going to take a look at the concept cars for the 2021 calendar. Well, the 2021 F1 season, the proposed concept cars. And here you can see there's quite a bit of an interesting look to the cars. So I'm not going to, delve into it because too much because I'm not a expert in this. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm not really an expert in this, but as you can see, I'm just gonna talk through I'm just gonna gloss over the surface here. So I'm just gonna talk about concept by concept. You can see there's 3 concepts here, and concept 1 is concept 1 is quite similar to concept 3 if you look at it, but concept 3 looks more futuristic in a way. Concept 1 still has we're gonna call it the current F1 cars, we're gonna call it the Mach 1, but the Mach 2 will be the concept 3. Okay, so concept 1 has the Mach 1 Formula 1 car style, but concept 3 is like a Mach 2 version. So yeah, in a way it looks similar, but in a way as well it looks different, because you see the barge boards. There are no barge boards in concept 1. Concept 2 you have barge boards. Concept 3 you have a aero device that prevents dirty air from hitting other cars or something. And yeah, concept 1 you have a rear wing that's similar to the current F1 cars. Concept 2 is completely new, out of the window stuff. And concept 2, the car is one of the more beautiful looking cars compared to the 3 of these, because the 3 of these, the most to me, the most better looking one is concept 2 and concept 3. Concept 1 is a bit of a, well, for older F1 fans, probably you will like concept 1, but concept 2 and 3, I think I'll be down for both of them, because yeah, they just look stunning. And it'll be rumored that concept 3, the tire rims will be 18, what's the word? 18, so it will be 18 meters in diameter. So that will be the, 18 rims, and compared to now that I think it's 16. So yeah, that's a bit of a big difference. So 18 looks much better, to be honest, in the concept 3 car, so I don't really mind it. So yeah, we'll see. But if you guys want to see more in-depth of in-depth analysis of this video, I'll link a channel to the video that will, well, Arif, basically, you guys know him. I'm pretty sure most of you guys already watched his video, but I'm just gonna link it anyway, just in case you are interested in this kind of things. He'll explain pretty much everything about the concept, so get you guys more in depth about the what's gonna happen in the future of F1, and what the cars do, why they look this way, why is this here, why is that there. Yeah, he's pretty much gonna explain everything, so I'll link it in the description, and I'm gonna put a card up here now. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. So guys, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will be posting these kind of videos on and off whenever I find the time and the news to speak about this kind of stuff. And yeah, pretty much that's about it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.